I wanted to continue my videos about tarot combinations because it is comparatively easy to get a hang of each card on its own, particularly the major arcana, where each card has a title and a specific story and archetype associated with it. It is harder to connect two or more cards together and then relate them to a question. That's where tarot becomes a genuine art rather than a science. So today I thought we'd look at the High Priestess. Now, in essence, I think the High Priestess is quite an easy archetype to understand. It's a deeply spiritual card. We have the water here of the dress. We have the water behind the veil. To me, this is all talking about connection to the divine or the unconscious, however you might like to express or experience that. And that sort of, that peak flow experience when we are deeply connected to something spiritual for us. But if you're asking about a relationship or if you're asking about a work question, then describing the High Priestess as a deeply spiritual, intuitive, psychic card isn't always the right way to read the card. I will never forget when I had a tarot reading with Teresa Reid. It was a long time ago now. Now, I'm putting the Nine of Pentacles in here as a demonstration. It wasn't this card combination that she got, but the card that she got for my business was the High Priestess. And I was very humbled and excited to hear Teresa Reid talk about this as being a psychic card and suggesting that I had a good connection to tarot and that I was deeply intuitive and, had the potential to be a really good tarot reader. But the High Priestess is about being introverted. It is about the inward journey. And as an example, and I'm starting with this because it was such an important example for me, if I was doing a reading and somebody had asked me about their business or about their work, and I got the High Priestess and the Nine of Pentacles, I might well say to somebody what Teresa said to me a long time ago now, because the Nine of Pentacles is a card of good skills. It's a card of being well organized. It's a card of being able to monetize our skills. It would suggest that somebody had the right skill set and the right experience to be successful. But the High Priestess is about the introvert, the inner journey. And what Teresa said to me was that I was hiding my light under a bushel. And I can remember the exact words. She said, "You may be the best tarot reader in the world." I have to point out she wasn't saying I was, but it's a story. "But if nobody knows you read tarot, your business will not be successful." And so if I'm doing a business reading for somebody and the cards are really positive and suggesting that this person has the potential to be really good, perhaps the Knight of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, any of those, the Emperor, any of those strong business cards, but the High Priestess pops up and just doesn't seem to fit, then it usually suggests that this person is hiding their light under a bushel, that they are not so much being secretive, but being very introverted about what they can do, about their skill set, and that they are not sharing it widely and owning their success. So that's my first tarot pairings, deeply personal for me because it made a huge difference for me. So if you're reading for yourself and you're getting the High Priestess a lot, maybe that's what she's saying to you. Don't hide your light. Shine, be bold, be brave. To me, the High Priestess with these pomegranates on the curtain behind her is definitely a link to Persephone. I'm from a Norse tradition, so I would associate this with Hel, our goddess of the underworld, queen of the underworld. And Hel is portrayed as having half light and half dark when we look at her. And so to me, the underworld also reflects the seed. We've got the seeds in the pomegranate. The High Priestess can, with certain questions and certain card combinations refer to pregnancy. To me, this can refer to, the baby in the womb. And certainly, under certain circumstances, if the high priestess was with the fool, so the fool is an unincarnated spirit. We have the bloodless rose here, which is in the death card, of course. We have the white sun. We have the black pole. To me, these are all symbols of a spirit that is not fully incarnated, that is either pre-birth or post-life. So the high priestess and the fool can suggest a spirit coming in, and a pregnancy coming. And of course, the high priestess and the empress, to me, those two together can, I see the magician as the seed, as the spark of life, the conception. I see the high priestess as the baby growing in the womb, that strange time when, as women, we literally have a life growing within us. And then the empress is the very late stages of pregnancy, when we have a viable baby and birth and motherhood. So, it's an unusual meaning in a tarot reading, but it certainly does crop up. Now, this is a powerful combination. We have to be careful with the high priestess and the hermit. Individually, they are both really powerful cards. They are both cards of spiritual wisdom, but they are both cards of being withdrawn and introverted. So when I see them together, it always sparks warnings in me, which is why I chose the Hanged Man as a card that I'm going to focus on a bit more, because it's wonderful to be spiritual, it's wonderful to be intuitive and in connection with our own inner journey, but the two together, the high priestess and the hermit, will be a bit too introverted for me. The high priestess and the hanged man, for me, is a really powerful pairing. The high priestess I see as a deeply intuitive, spiritual, personally connected psychic card. She is if we look at the way that her dress becomes water. The water to me is the collective unconscious, the divine, that unique quintessential essence where we can connect with that which is outside of us. And to me, the hanged man has a deeply spiritual side. This to me really connects with Odin. Odin hung himself upon Yggdrasil. And when I look at the hanged man, I see that his heart is above his head. And his crown chakra is alight. To me, this is about working from the heart chakra, the right brain. It is when we create change by using art or shamanic journeying or energetic healing, however you want to understand that. To me, if you're getting these two cards together, you are being asked to really connect to your spiritual side, and that can be done in so many ways: through yoga, through shamanic journeying, through tarot, through creating a mandala, through using art to express what it is you're trying to create in your life. But these two together, to me, is very much about exploring a spiritual or our inner journey. If I got these for a client, I would be asking them, how do you connect to? And I always alter my language slightly because I want my client to understand. So I may use spiritual. How do you connect spiritually? I may say, how do you connect to your higher guidance? I may say, what do you do in your life that really gets you to that peak moment of experience? Because honestly, for a lot of people, it's going to the gym. A lot of people will say, yeah, I don't really do anything spiritual. And then I say, what do you do that just kind of gets you in that zone where you just kind of are able to see your life from a better perspective and find solutions to things that you can't in your everyday life? And then people often say, when I go to the gym, or gosh, when I go running with my dog, or yeah, those are the moments when I get up and the house is quiet and I just have a cup of tea and I just doodle, and then I just kind of know what it is I need to do. So be careful of using sort of spiritual terms, because many people find it in a deeply practical way. But to me, this is a lovely combination. Possibly the most powerful combination for the high priestess is the Hierophant. So there's a lot of discussions on the internet about the pairing of the cards. To me, the High Priestess is not paired with the Magician. He's solo. She's not paired with the Emperor. That's the Empress's role. To me, she's paired with the Hierophant. So I see the High Priestess as that intuition, psychic awareness, the knowing, the deep connection that we can all have in different ways. And the Hierophant then is how we understand it. The Hierophant is how we translate our spiritual intuitive understanding into words. Because as a tarot reader, I may well get a strong intuitive flow, but if I can't express it in a way that my client understands, then that strong intuitive flow is, to be honest, fairly pointless. So to me, the Hierophant is translating this spiritual understanding into something meaningful. Really powerful combination. I mentioned the Hermit and the High Priestess. I'm using the Four of Cups as well. If you are getting cards with the High Priestess that are about isolation, withdrawal, stepping out, checking out, then I would really be cautious, because it is easy, and I think we all do this to a degree. We disengage from life. Life is too stressful. So, I mean, for me, I'm currently binge watching The Handmaid's Tale. I'm not sure it's good for my mental health, but I'm enjoying it. We all check out in different ways. I'm really cautious if I see the High Priestess as a significant card in a relationship reading. It can mean that two people are connecting on a deeply soulful level. This is why tarot combinations are so important. But if we've got the High Priestess and the Four of Cups, High Priestess and the Hermit, the High Priestess and the Queen of Swords, which can represent a single person, someone that feels single, then it can mean that someone is checking out of their relationship. They are not emotionally engaged anymore. Of course, we need to understand why, and often it will become clear that that person has just reached overwhelm and they just can't engage in their relationship anymore. So it doesn't mean that the relationship is over, but it is a red flag that there's a problem. So if you're getting the High Priestess and any combination of cards that suggest isolation, withdrawal, then I would really check in. The darkest meaning I've ever come for the High Priestess, and this will always stick in my mind. So I am, as well as being a tarot reader, I am a shaman. So I do shamanic healings for people where I remove curses, I remove psychic daggers, psychic attacks, things like that. Now we need to be really cautious right now. Be very wary of anybody that says you have a curse or psychic daggers or psychic attack and then wants to charge you an exorbitant amount of money to fix it. I want to say right now that my rates are the same whether you have a tarot reading or whether I remove curses and such like. And very often if I'm doing a reading and I truly believe someone has psychic doubt, to a degree we've all got psychic daggers, but dark psychic daggers or dark curses, I will usually at that point stop and offer to remove them within that session if at all possible. So, you know, I'm cautious about expressing this because I know a lot of people do use it as, yeah, a bit of a money-making scam. But I do believe in psychic daggers. I do believe that we can, if we really focus it hard, cause emotional damage either by words, because don't forget the Suit of Swords is words, or by using what we would think of as magic. So to me, the High Priestess and the Nine of Swords, High Priestess and the Ten of Swords, High Priestess and the Seven of Swords, arguably the Five of Swords as well, they're nasty cards. They suggest that somebody is in a hidden, because the High Priestess can represent hidden and secrets, in a hidden and focused way, seeking to cause you harm, either through gaslighting, because these swords can represent words, through slander, through gossiping, through telling lies, or if your worldview suits this through curses and psychic daggers. I had a client once that asked me, I think the exact question was, I feel really weird. Is my mother-in-law sending me psychic daggers and curses? And I did a 3-card reading, and 2 or 3 cards with the High Priestess and the 9 of Swords. And I was able to go, yeah, I really think she is. And we talked about, using crystals and, boosting her energetic self and protecting herself in conversations, being more aware of how words can be used to disempower. So if you are getting any of these combinations, just check in. Is there somebody who is secretly really trying to be quite dark and manipulative? The High Priestess is water. The High Priestess is secrets. So the High Priestess and the Moon, to me, just like the High Priestess and the Hermit is perhaps a little bit too introverted, the High Priestess and the Moon is a little bit too psychic, watery, secrets, fear-based. To me, the Moon is very often about fear. I mean, it can mean hormones. It can mean psychic awareness. It can mean those things as well. But Arthur Waite, who designed this deck, he described this crayfish as primal fears. And when we think about the moon, let's be logical about this. The moon is one big mirror, okay? All the moon actually does with light is reflect it. It does not shine. So if you go to the mirror and you're brushing your hair or putting your makeup on or whatever else you might do, you are not seeing the same face that other people see. You are seeing a reflection of yourself, and reflections are always distorted. Try reading. Okay, so to me, the moon can mean distortions, illusions. You don't have all the information you need. The High Priestess can be secrets. And, if we start putting some of the darker swords cards on there, you got a powerful combination. Watch out. Now, it's up to you whether you consider this can apply to sort of magic, or whether you think this is more to do with people behind the scene keeping secrets from you and not giving you all the information you need. I'm going to have to go back to some lighter cards in a minute. I guess I wanted to do this because I think the High Priestess is one of those cards that so many of us know so well, and so many of us see in a positive light. I mean, she is feminine power, she's passive, she's strong, she's intuitive, she's psychic. For many of us that read tarot, she is definitely a card that we consider to be strong and positive and delighted to see. And I want to point out that she is all of those things, but we have the dark and the light. She has a dark side as well. Everything I've just said, but now add a little more to it. The devil would suggest that somebody is consciously and deliberately keeping secrets from you, or hiding things from you, or perhaps using magic or energetic work to restrict you and to trap you. Because this is a definite link to Persephone with pomegranates, or to hell, the black and the white, and the link to the underworld. Have a read of those myths, have a read of the story of Persephone, see her journey, and understand that when certain cards come out with the High Priestess, it is about control and domination. It is about manipulation and secrets. It's not always about the masculine. Let's come right back to what I consider the natural pairing. Now, I mean, I say it's not all about the masculine. Of course, the curious thing about the Hierophant is when we look at the Hierophant, I would argue it's hard to tell whether that's female. And I know that some decks, the Hierophant is referred to as the Popess, and there's this link of, is it male, is it female? Very much like Justice. We're not sure, and I rather like that. But to me, the High Priestess is most powerful when she's combined with any card that expresses then translating the inner journey, the psychic connection, the spiritual connection into words or actions or the everyday world. And this really makes me think, I read this in a business book. I have no idea which business book, so if it was yours, I'm sorry. The High Priestess would be you sat maybe curled up on the sofa, cutting pictures out of magazines. Maybe you've got some music on, maybe you've got the candles lit, and you're creating a vision board. And it's beautiful and it's fun and it's playful. And you are translating your inner journey, your hopes, your wishes into this beautiful vision board. You are really working on the inner journey there. But if you don't have an action plan or a set of goals, if you don't translate that vision board into something actionable in the mundane and the everyday world, it's just a pretty picture. So the High Priestess is powerful, but like any one of the major arcanas, she has good sides and she has bad sides. And we really need to look to see who is she with. Is she with a card that really magnifies the secrets of the High Priestess? Or is she with that trans her power and makes it a force for change in the mundane world? So I hope that's been helpful. If you've enjoyed this, do subscribe. I am definitely focusing on doing more videos because I quite enjoy them. If you like how I teach tarot, I've got loads of free resources on my website. I also have a book which you can buy direct from me or on any online bookshop. And I also teach monthly by Zoom. So if you've enjoyed it, do subscribe and head to my website to find out more.